So, are you ready to get lucky? Well, maybe not that kind of lucky. Maybe the better question is, are you prepared to get lucky? I mean, you have a big dream, right? You have a big goal that you are working toward in your life or in your career. What are you doing to prepare for it? What if a lucky break, an opportunity of a lifetime fell in your lap and you had the chance to prove that you were ready for that challenge? Would you be ready? My name's Brenda VanLengen, and I'm a sports broadcaster. Over the last 15 years, I have been on over 500 live broadcasts of sports events. But 15 years ago, that wasn't the case. I had just really dipped my toe into broadcasting for about 3 years. I had been doing some local television, and I think I had done maybe 10 games in 3 years. And that's when I had a dream to be on a national broadcast, specifically the Big 12 conference package on Fox. That was my dream. And that's when I got my lucky break. You see, it was a Saturday afternoon, and I was living in Kansas City. Actually, I was the executive director of the Women's Final Four, preparing Kansas City for that national championship event. And it was a Saturday afternoon, an opportunity to take a day off before things got really crazy in about a month. So I went with a group of friends over to Lawrence, Kansas to watch the KU K-State women's basketball game. And it was take a girl to the game day. So my friend Patty took her 10-year-old niece, and we all piled in a car and drove over to Lawrence. And we arrived at Allen Fieldhouse about 20 minutes before the game started, and there was a huge line out front. All these people taking little girls to the game, and I thought, I've done a little local media for KU. I'm going to sneak around to the media entrance, and I told my friends, I'll see you guys inside. So I went around to the media entrance, and as I walked in, the media relations guy was there, and he was like, "Hey, Brenda, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. I'm glad you're here." And I thought, well, that's good because I just snuck in the door. And he said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Ready for what?" He said, "To do the national television broadcast today." And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not assigned to do any TV today." And he said, "Well, the announcer for today's game didn't show up, and they need someone to broadcast this game. Will you do it?" Without hesitation, I was like, "Hell yeah!" I said, "Are there any game notes I can look at? Let's go." And I walked out. I was in my jeans and a white button-up shirt, and I was 15 minutes away from going on live television, didn't have on any makeup or anything, and walked out and saw a friend of mine who was the trainer for KU, and she grabbed me and she said, "This is your opportunity." She said, "They've been scrambling around here. They needed somebody to do this broadcast. I told them you were coming to the game today, and that's why they were looking for me coming in the door." And as I walked over, I introduced myself to Kevin Eschenfelder. I put on my headphones, looked out at the court as Kansas and Kansas State women were ready to play the game, and I got my audition, my live audition to be a national sports broadcaster right there with no notice at all. It was my lucky break. What did I do to prepare myself? How was I ready for that moment? Well, I'd love to tell you about it. Invite me out to speak to your group, your organization, and I will tell you the story and other ways that you or your team or your business can accomplish your goals by preparing yourself and being ready. You never know when there might be a lucky break.